Safety promotion. Safety promotion is designed to permeate all activities throughout the company. You'll notice in the SMS diagram that safety promotion doesn't have its own little bubble around it like the other safety components do. That's because safety promotion should be evident, should be applicable, should be present in all activities throughout the company. It's divided, safety promotion is divided into two elements. That is training and education and safety communication. Training and education ensures that employees are competent to perform their safety-sensitive duties with regard to the SMS. It's focused. Makes sense for companies to expand that training to other areas, and companies certainly are welcome to do that. However, the minimum requirements of SMS, and note this, the minimum requirements of SMS is that the training in this element focus on SMS-related safety functions, specific SMS-related safety functions. Safety communication, likewise, is the process by which the company conveys safety-critical information. This element explains why safety actions were taken and explains why safety procedures are implemented. This is important. It's crucial, in fact, because employees who understand why they need to do something a certain way, when they understand why, they're more apt to embrace that procedure. It's human nature. ICAO's recommendation regarding safety communication is that communication not take a shotgun approach where they try to communicate everything to everyone, but instead that safety-related information is tailored and sent to appropriate individuals. On the surface, it may seem at best to give all information to all employees, but if all information goes to all employees, even if it's not applicable, the company runs the risks of employees ignoring crucial safety information simply due to information overload. So we try to avoid that. Safety promotion encourages a positive safety culture. There's several different ways to measure the level of implementation of safety culture in your organization. Advisory Circular 120-92B describes 4 implementation levels. Your PowerPoint presentation describes 5 levels of safety culture in the safety culture maturity model. That's also referenced in your text on page 24, your safety management systems in aviation text. No matter which diagram you use, the principles are the same. Each level builds upon the other. They are slow steps up, actually. Emerging is really when management recognizes the need for safety culture but hasn't done anything about it yet. Level 2, managing, is identified when management is actually committed to improving safety culture but has not yet introduced it to the rest of the company. So managing level 2 is still in the management realm, but it's not yet introduced to the rest of the company. The progression up in the increasing maturity of safety culture continues as the buy-in and commitment are embraced throughout all levels of the organization and pressed down from management, supported from management, by management, pressed down from management through other levels of the organization. When that happens, safety culture improves as well as consistency. Now let's talk about the building blocks or subcultures of safety culture. This is crucial to understanding safety culture, is understanding what subcultures or what builds up to make a good positive safety culture. So there are 5 subcultures of a safety culture. First of all, a just culture. The just culture is first because it's foundational. It is actually it's on the foundation of the pyramid here on purpose. It is foundational and crucial to the successful development of a safety culture. The reason is that employees are watching management, watching how management treats fellow employees. A just culture sounds nice, but in real life it is really, really difficult to consistently maintain. Essentially, in a just culture, there is no tolerance for intentional disregard for safety or SOPs, standard operating procedures. Well, that sounds fine, but enforcement must be consistently executed throughout the company. What's even more difficult, though, Your text reiterates this, ICAO reiterates this, and the FAA says so as well. One of the most difficult things in safety culture is how an agency treats employees who err or make mistakes. The company will investigate and determine root causes of errors to fix a problem, but in the case of mistakes, the organization forgives the employee. By its very nature, SMS is non-punitive. If employees are punished for mistakes, the human tendency is to hide the mistakes, and then the company cannot learn from them. The theory is that if one conscientious employee makes a mistake during work, then there is a great chance another may too. Organizational factors are investigated. Instead of firing the employee, the system in which the employee works is investigated and fixed in order to enhance the safety for all. This is such a difficult concept. I'm going to belabor just culture just a little bit more. Here's a chart that outlines responses to various employee behavior. It looks pretty straightforward. It's actually pretty difficult to get the concept. But once you get it, I think you'll have it. You'll have it good. All right, so let's start from the right, from this side. We understand that reckless behavior, such as disregard for the rules or SOPs, is ground for punishment. That is punitive action or remedial action, maybe demotion, leave without pay, or in some cases may even warrant termination. That's the easy one. Okay, the next, at-risk behavior. This is a little bit more tricky. This happens when, say, for example, a mechanic uses a similar but incorrect part because there is great pressure on him or her to meet a deadline. Or maybe a pilot takes a flight when he or she is fatigued. The employee feels the organizational pressures on him or her to meet the needs of the mission and feels justified in taking shortcuts to meet organizational demands. That will display at-risk behavior that's actually pressed and enhanced by the organizational pressures. Good management in these cases will actually coach the employee. Maybe remove incentives that inadvertently encourage risky behavior. On the left side, the far left side, this is one of the most difficult things for management, actually for human, I think, in general, to get our minds wrapped around. This is the third response to employee behavior under a just culture, and that is regarding error. So when humans err, when an employee makes a mistake, many times in our industry, a human mistake may cause damage and may even hurt someone. The company response cannot be flippant to that, and deep investigation to root causes and motives is required. However, when it is determined that the employee made an honest mistake, the employee, having made an honest mistake, will feel incredibly bad already about what they were responsible for. That is their punishment, in fact. But as a company, the response should actually be to console and support the employee in whatever way is necessary to close the loop and make sure organizational factors do not allow for the same or similar mistake again in the future. Again, a conscientious employee who made a mistake, if the system is not fixed properly, then another conscientious employee later on down the road may very well make the same mistake. This closes that loophole so that the organizational factors are fixed so as to enhance safety for all employees on down the road. Okay, the next four subcultures are going to go more quickly. Flexible culture happens when an organization can centralize when necessary and decentralize decision-making as necessary to meet the requirements of a task. In other words, employees are trusted enough to make decisions and given greater authority during higher tempo operations. Here's an example. A company I used to work for would get emergency government contracts that required quick response times. When that happened, we would leave the principal base of operation. Say the principal base of operation is up here in the right corner of your screen. Our contract is in the bottom left. We would leave the principal base of operation and often take 3 to 5 or more aircraft along with all kinds of support with us. We'd bring trucks, we'd bring airplanes, bring all kinds of people out at these operations at the remote stations. During the contract, there was one person on site who was the who had CEO level authority over that contract. They had an open line back to supervisors for counsel, but while on site, this person had clearance to make decisions that impacted the emergency operation with full support of the company. That's an example of flexible culture. Once this contract was completed, everything would return back to the home base, re-centralize the decision making. So flexible, centralized, decentralized. Reporting culture can only be nurtured when a just culture is consistently executed properly. So just culture is foundational, again, to reporting culture. When management and employees have mutual trust and mutual respect in one another, the employees feel free, even encouraged, to report mistakes and safety issues that they observe. They can report those mistakes without fear of retribution. That is crucial. Without fear of retribution. The reporting culture is nurtured by management by continually executing the principles of just culture when reports come in. With employee reporting, the organization becomes informed. In other words, the organization, management, safety committees, they know what is going on within the organization. Management knows what hazards, errors, or problems may be lurking on the front lines. An organization is better informed about their environment, hazards, and risks, they can better mitigate them. You have to know about them in order to mitigate them. And finally, the apex, the top of the pyramid, the fifth subculture of a safety culture is learning culture, and this is the goal. The goal is to foster a learning culture through the rest of the subcultures. Learning is defined as a change of behavior as a result of knowledge, and when all other cultures are nurtured, the organization is able to continually learn and improve systems, processes, and procedures to continually improve safety while nurturing a robust safety culture.